It was a different time. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things in classic Disney movies that wouldn't work today.
I want the job done tonight.
How are we gonna do it?
Any way you like, poison them, drown them, bash them in the head. You got any chloroform?
For this list, we'll be ranking scenes, visual gags, and dialogue from popular Disney and Pixar films that leave our jaws on the floor on repeat viewings.
If I don't love it, I don't swallow.
We're taking into account whether these were indicative of the social mores of their day. Point is, these would almost certainly be left on the cutting room floor if produced today. Number 10. Headlights, Cars. Believe it or not, there are a number of adult-themed jokes in this 2006 Pixar film that might fly over the heads of viewers who aren't paying close attention.
Are you saying he doesn't have headlights?
That's what I'm telling you. It's just stickers. Well, you know, race cars don't need headlights because the track is always lit.
Yeah, well, so's my brother, but he still needs headlights.
For starters, there's a blink and you'll miss it advertisement of convertible waitresses at a roadside truck stop.
Just stopping off for a quick breather, kid. Old Mac needs a rest.
Absolutely not.
Given that the world of cars centers around thinking, talking automobiles, that idea is a bit more risque than meets the eye. So, what are the implications of a couple of groupies flashing their headlights at Lightning McQueen after a big race?
I'm Mia. I'm Tia. We're like your biggest fans. Good job!
I love being men.
Seriously though, the intent behind these scenes may seem innocent to young kids, but adults would likely balk at their inclusion today. Number 9. Salacious Sanderson, Hocus Pocus. To be honest, the very specific humor of this 1993 film has helped it become the cult hit and beloved Halloween watch it is today. The tone does jump around a bit though, coming across at times as crude and sophomoric. One example of the somewhat adult humor shows up when Sarah Jessica Parker's Sarah Sanderson and her siblings hop on a city bus.
We desire children.
Hey, that may take me a couple of tries, but I don't think that'd be a problem. Hop on up.
Marvelous.
SJP proceeds to also hop on the bus driver's lap, flirting and laughing with the driver as she helps with the driving.
Hey, Buttercup, anybody ever tell you you're very easy on the eyes?
Cue the speed bump jokes, with the implication behind the scene being just a wee bit of fooling around. Sure, it's all fairly innocent, but don't expect to see this sort of joke in any sequel.
Brave little virgin who lit the candle. I'll be thy friend.
Hey, take the hike.
Number 8. Creepy Mushu, Mulan. We can all agree that Eddie Murphy's casting as Mulan's guardian dragon comedic relief sidekick was nothing short of inspired, not to mention infinitely quotable.
Say that to my face, you limp noodle!
Shortly after introducing himself to her, Mushu tries to convince her not to judge a travel-sized book by its cover, boasting how all-powerful he is. Apparently among his abilities is X-ray vision, which, considering where his eyes are looking, seems like an odd thing to say.
My powers are beyond your mortal imagination. For instance, my eyes can see straight through your armor.
Mulan's reaction of slapping Mushu is kinda warranted. And if we're talking dishonor here, we might throw it Mushu's way.
Dishonor! Dishonor on your whole family! Make a note of this. Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
Number 7. Conveyor Belt Doll, Santa's Workshop. Aw, come on, not even good old Saint Nick is safe. Unfortunately not. Early versions of this holiday-themed Disney short featured Santa and his elves hard at work getting toys ready for good boys and girls. Santa then inspects the dolls on the assembly line to ensure quality control. First, a white doll comes down a conveyor belt, says "Mama," and gets approved by Santa. Then a black doll tumbles down the belt, says "Mammy," stamps her own butt, which prompts Santa to laugh heartily. This silly symphony was released back in 1932, but given the word Mammy's ties to slavery and the doll's exaggerated features, it's no wonder Disney has removed this scene for several releases since. Number 6. Hidden Figures, The Rescuers. Idle hands are the devil's playthings, or at least they are when they belong to a team of Disney animators in the 1970s.
Oh, I just love pickles.
It's an infamous story. When the final cut of the animated hit The Rescuers was released, Disney employees snuck in an image of a nude woman, though you'd have to do a lot of zooming and enhancing to catch it.
Captain, you fly beautifully. It's just like being on a roller scooter.
Disney would eventually, nearly 2 decades later, recall the VHS tapes that contain the controversial image. But the scene where Orville gives Miss Bianca and Bernard a lift has become notorious ever since. Disney's Fort Knox level security nowadays would never allow this sort of slip-up to happen again, right?
Just went through a red light.
Oh, I do that all the time, darling. Now, come on. Stop worrying.
Number 5. Hookah Time, Alice in Wonderland. Consider this next entry a definite case of changing social conventions. Lewis Carroll's original story featured the caterpillar smoking a hookah, and has been adapted numerous times since in much the same way.
We shall see.
1951's Alice in Wonderland is hands down one of the trippiest Disney movies, so we wouldn't be surprised if the caterpillar was casually puffing and listening to some Jefferson Airplane before Alice came to bug him. It's not uncommon to see smoking in older Disney films. Heck, just look at Pinocchio puffing on a cigar. But as the company continues to adapt to suit its impressionable family audience, this seems like something they'd steer clear of. Number 4. We Are Siamese If You Don't Please, Lady and the Tramp.
We are Siamese, if you please. We are Siamese, if you don't please.
Okay, we're sure you sang this as a kid completely unaware of how insanely racist it is. Over the years, Disney's films have taken to using stereotypes in their characterizations. One needs only to look at Everybody Wants to Be a Cat in the Aristocats to realize that the company hasn't always been kind to Asians in their films.
Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Fuyang. Fortune cookie always wrong. Not the hot one.
A decade and a half earlier, 2 villainous Siamese cats, Sai and Am, are introduced to make poor lady's life miserable.
Maybe we could reaching in and make it dry.
Well, if the slanted eyes and buck teeth don't offend, the gong noises, a common gag, certainly will. You want proof Disney regretted this? Their 2019 live-action remake replaced the sequence with What a Shame.
But if you don't like our artistic flair, well that's too bad, what a shame.
I'm telling! Number 3. A Crow Named Jim, Dumbo. Who knew that a film about an adorable elephant would have inappropriate content? Don't believe us? Okay, that scene where Dumbo gets drunk? Big nope. And these guys? Yeesh.
My. Why, this is most irregular. Well, I just can't believe my eyes.
We'll explain. The 1941 cartoon sees Dumbo and Timothy Q. Mouse meeting a group of crows. In the years since the film's release, their manner of speaking, as well as the fact that their leader's name is Jim Crow in the original script, have caused controversy.
But I be done seeing about everything when I see an elephant fly.
You see, in the United States, Jim Crow laws basically made racial segregation legal until the mid-1960s, so it's hard to brush this off as a coincidence. However, some say Dumbo's crows are simply parodying popular African-American entertainers of the era. Either way, it seems like Disney wanted to steer clear of any dispute, so Tim Burton's 2019 adaptation found a way around both of these questionable elements. Number 2. What Made the Red Man Red? Peter Pan. We're not sure if the powers that be behind Disney's Peter Pan intended for the Indian tribe sequence to be insensitive.
Good. This should be most enlightening.
What makes the red man red?
What we do know is this musical number would absolutely not be allowed in the modern day, despite its happy-go-lucky exterior.
In the engine book it say when first Blake married Squaw, he came out with heaping out when he saw his mother-in-law.
Even one of the supervising animators, Mark Davis, said, quote, "I'm not sure we would have done the Indians if we were making this movie now. And if we had, we wouldn't do them the way we did back then." The company has attempted to remedy this on several occasions, ranging from writing the Chief and Company out of the 2002 sequel to a disclaimer on Disney+. Today, the scene is rather embarrassing in what's otherwise an absolute Disney classic.
Now you know why the red man's red.
Yeah, it's kinda hard to watch that scene in Peter Pan. Anyway, here are some other moments in Disney and Pixar films that would probably not get made nowadays. Whether it would offend or if people might just not get the reference.
I thought the Earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon.
Oh my word! Wow, what a day. First that restaurant by the bay, and then that play, that Oedipus thing? Man, I thought I had problems.
Hey, cutie! Wanna pollinate with a real bug?
Don't you start with me about pirates. After you jilted me, I took up with this Bernie Flint. The man was totally codependent.
You and Captain Flint?
Well, he was a pirate, I was a lady. You know the story.
I'm the fuller brush man. I'm giving a free sample.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Basically, all of it. Song of the South.
Gotta have a head, gotta get a head right quick. Need about this much tar, yes, just about this much. I expect this just about right for the head. That biggity old rabbit won't get away this time.
Disney's Song of the South, derived from Uncle Remus folktales, is infamous for a number of reasons, as many believe that the film marginalizes the impact of slavery. Even when this movie was being made, there was a worry that it would draw controversy.
I wish I had a laughing place. Me too.
What makes you think you ain't? Of course you got a laughing place.
An NAACP statement at the time critiqued, quote, making use of the beautiful Uncle Remus folklore, Song of the South unfortunately gives the impression of an idyllic master-slave relationship, which is a distortion of the facts.
Now that's the kind of day when you can't open your mouth without a song jump right out of it.
When the film was screened in Atlanta in 1946, Walt Disney quickly left, upset by reviews, and Uncle Remus actor James Baskett wasn't allowed to come, as the city was still racially segregated. To this day, the film has failed to receive an uncut home video release in the United States. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.